Hey everyone off the podcast universe, this is your host Dave off the Well Nothing Is Happening podcast, and welcome back. So right now, I am sorry if the audio quality is terrible, but I am currently sitting in my car in a parking garage at the hospital that I am working in. So right now I'm on pediatrics, infectious disease, and specifically I only have really one more day, which is tomorrow, so super excited. But anyways, I'm just hanging out here just because I don't want to go in super early, and rounds doesn't start till like 10, so I figured might as well go ahead and upload a video for you guys, or a podcast episode for you guys. So the last time we spoke, I was making a tiramisu, I believe, and it was for the Friendsgiving that I was invited to, and overall, just giving you guys some updates on that. It was a huge success. The tiramisu was really good because it had 3 types of alcohols in it. It had like an almond liqueur, it had a coffee liqueur, and it had some cognac in it. So it had like a nice little kick to it, a little adult kick to it. Along with that, it wasn't a traditional tiramisu because it had a caramel layer to it, and so it gave off like a good caramel macchiato type vibe. So yeah, so it was really good. Wish you guys can have some, maybe one day in the future. If we ever do meet, maybe I will make it for you guys, but you never know. Anyways, aside from that, the Friendsgiving was alright. I didn't really know too many people there. I just knew my one friend who invited me there and a couple of the third years. It was mainly a third year Friendsgiving type thing. And I don't know, I felt like throughout the party, it was just kind of like people would kind of talk to me and be like, oh yeah, I recognize you. But other than that, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know anything else. Like, I think a few of them knew that I was going to family med, so of course a few of them asked me how was interviews going, and kind of similar to how I've been telling you guys, like, yeah, interviews are okay, minus that weird one that happened the other week. But yeah, so that's kind of what happened. We also did so the Friendsgiving was a murdered theme Friendsgiving, so you had to dress up as a character and you were supposed to act the role because you had like a booklet with some lines of what to say, and you had to figure out who the murderer was. And it was kind of a long party. I remember everyone was I had to scream because everyone was so loud, so I had to re-scream my part like into other people's ears because my voice isn't very sharp, and so it doesn't travel very well. And so basically I just remember towards the end of the night I was like, this is my line, and it was just very bad. Like, I had a very, very terrible voice by the end of the night. But overall, yeah, it was a lot of fun. They had a small bonfire that was outside in their backyard, and so I remember like when I was eating dinner, which was a bunch of sides, it was very carb heavy. I should have grabbed some like meat or something, but I think they were still warming up the turkey and whatnot. So anyways, I just decided just to load up on like 3 types of mac and cheese and green bean casserole and stuff. So anyways, it was really good. It was I just had like a plate or so, and I felt pretty content. And by the end of the night, we all just gathered around the campfire, and just because I didn't really know these people that well, and they didn't really know me, I remember there was just a solid maybe hour towards the end of the night where I wasn't really speaking to anyone, and everyone was kind of talking amongst themselves, which was fine. I was kind of getting very introverted at that moment because I was getting really tired. It was about maybe 10:30, which is when I was like, yeah, I gotta leave. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. I'd rather go home. And so I was highly debating on doing an Irish goodbye, but then ultimately I was like, I need to at least say goodbye to my friend, so that way she'll know that I'm just leaving, and she's not like, just left her high and dry. Although the whole night she was socializing with other people too, so it was like, whatever, it's fine. So I did say goodbye, and I ultimately just kind of went back home. So that was pretty much the Friendsgiving. So overall, I guess if I had to put a rating to it, it was alright. It wasn't like the best Friendsgiving I've ever been to, but it wasn't like the worst Friendsgiving or social event I've ever been to. So it was a pretty decent time. I didn't have anything else better to do that evening, so for sure it was better than doing nothing, I suppose. But aside from that, I am currently on my second to last day on pediatrics infectious disease, so quite exciting. I am very much experiencing a lot of senioritis right now. Like, I absolutely do not want to do anything, because, it's that time when it's like, it's getting cold, and in the morning, it's like rough to get up. So yeah, that struggle is very, very real right now. I remember just waking up this morning, and I don't know why, I just had like a huge headache, and slowly it's going away. Maybe I'm like dehydrated or something, but overall, I'm feeling a little bit better now. I just need to survive the rest of today, and I need to survive tomorrow, and then that's pretty much it, really. So for my next rotation, for those of you who may be wondering, so I do not actually have a next rotation. This is my last formal rotation, so that's pretty cool. I think the rest of my rotations are either going to be online, or I have some time off, or like the capstone. So overall, yeah, I will actually check back in with you guys, because I need to go in now because it's getting closer to rounding time, but I will tune back in. So that took a lot longer than I anticipated. I started making this episode, or creating this episode, specifically yesterday. So today was my last day of pediatrics infectious disease. So what had happened yesterday was I ended up seeing a patient who had chronic otitis media, which is a chronic ear infection, and basically she was given antibiotics on the outpatient side, and it was the wrong antibiotic because it didn't cover a specific organism. And so most likely what happened was that this organism, which was resistant to the antibiotic given to her on an outpatient basis, began digging into her bone, essentially, and causing osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection, essentially. So on the CT scan that they showed yesterday or 2 days ago, I don't know, I'm super confused based on the days, because I think they did imaging at like 2 in the morning. Anyways, so basically on the imaging that showed that there was a subperiosteal abscess or something like that. Basically, the kid had osteo, which subsequently was caused by this organism. So very, very interesting indeed. Thankfully, though, they did an MRI, and it did not reveal any abscences to her brain, just a really bad case of mastoiditis, which is basically inflammation of the mastoid bone. So basically, overall, I think we started on some broad spectrum antibiotics, and we're still waiting on like cultures and whatnot. But seeing that today was my last day, I really won't know exactly what will happen, but odds are they'll probably find the specific susceptibilities, and from there give her an oral medication that is correct, that will treat the bug that is in her bone. So that's pretty much my guess on what's happening. Of course, things in medicine change a lot, so you never know. I guess this is kind of one of the loose ends as part of a medical student. For those of you who are interested in going into medicine, depending on the rotation you're in, you may or may not get as much continuity. Therefore, there will be certain cases where you really won't have as much closure as perhaps some people would prefer. But overall, I'm pretty glad, though, that Peds ID has pretty much came towards the end, because, again, it's been starting to feel like that I've been just going through the motions, and with interviews and everything, it's just been kind of hard to put my whole heart into a rotation and really be completely invested. I mean, for sure, definitely. I thought that Peds ID was very interesting in some cases. I got to brush up on a lot of the antibiotics and got to learn a little bit more about antibiotic stewardship and whatnot, which is very important, especially for my case with Family Med, because I'll be giving out antibiotics and stuff to patients who will need it, and I certainly should not be giving out antibiotics to people who don't need it. So, anyways, more of the story, I guess, is I'm glad that I was able to go through this experience, and I learned a lot, and I really hope that in the future that the stuff that I learned on Peds ID will be really helpful. Of course, I'm going to have to relearn everything again, because obviously you can't learn everything on your first pass through, and this was really my first pass through the antibiotics game, and so, of course, I will need more practice in the future, but hence why there's residency. But for those of you who are curious in terms of what I'm doing next, so right now I am actually in the studio, so hence why maybe the audio might be a little bit better. But I am pretty much just hanging out. Tonight I have yet another meet and greet. I had one yesterday, but I have another meet and greet, and this place actually gave me a $20 Grubhub gift card, so I thought that was pretty interesting. I actually ordered some Cracker Barrel, so that should be super exciting. I haven't had that food in such a long time. I was debating on ordering other things, but they have like a delivery fee and everything, and I don't know. It's just kind of a hassle. I I don't know. I wanted to use the $20 credit they gave me because apparently the way they had it lined up was that I believe I had to use it sometime today, and they gave it to me today, so it wasn't like a gift card. It was really weird, but I'm hoping that whatever I get will be pretty good. I think the thing that I ordered from Cracker Barrel was some chicken dumplings and what is it? Maybe like the hash brown casserole and the fried okra. I believe that's what I ordered. Along with that, because I had some leftover money as well, I ended up ordering a dessert from there. I've never had the brownie cake thing with the ice cream from there before, but I'm assuming it's going to be like generic chocolate cake-ish like material and some plain vanilla ice cream, so I don't see why they would mess that up, but I guess I'd be surprised. But aside from that, yeah, I will keep you guys updated in terms if there's anything else new. I know that Thanksgiving is coming up very, very soon, so of course, maybe I'll let you guys know how Thanksgiving goes. I actually have a good bit of things happening next week, but I'll leave that into suspense for you guys. Alright, well, until next time, I will check in with you guys later.